everybody, welcome back to Looming and Crochet by Landry. In this video we are going to learn how to make a dishcloth. So grab your hooks and let's get started. Okay everybody, so here's what we're going to need to get started. So if you wanted to go and grab the pattern, you can find it on the website called yarnspirations.com. They're a great website. They have lots of different kinds of patterns for all sorts of crafting. You're also going to need a 5mm hook, scissors, and of course your yarn of choice. For this pattern, you're going to need Bernat Handicrafter Cotton. These are the two balls I have. One is teal, and the other one is called Poppy. After you get your supplies together, let's get started. Okay, everybody, so let's get started learning how to do a dishcloth. Once you've got your pattern and all your supplies, let's get going. So, you're going to start off with color A. For me, it's the teal. You're going to make a slip knot, just like we did in the last video. So, I'll show you. Round your thumb and grab the cross of both yarn on the other side. Take the long end attached to your yarn, slip it through the hole, and pull both ends, and you have a slip knot. Take your hook, put it through the loop, and pull until it tightens, but not too tight, just enough so you still have some wiggle room. Now you're going to start with chaining 34. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have your chain of 34, it should look something like this. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to one single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So this first one on your hook doesn't count because it's already being used. So we're going to jump to the one right beside it. So you're going to take your hook, slip it in your chain, and you should have something that looks like this. You're going to yarn over and pull it loop through and then you should have 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over again and pull through. Just like that. And the next step is to chain 1. So yarn over and pull a loop through your hook. Now we're going to skip a chain. So we're going to skip this one right here. That's right after the one we just used, and go into the next chain and do 1 single crochet. Okay, there we go. So now we're just going to repeat what we just did all the way down to the end of the row. So once again, it's chain 1, skip the next chain, go into the chain after that. So you should have 1 chain in between each single crochet. So chain 1, skip a chain, and you're going to do that all the way to the end, and I'll meet you when you get to the end. So let's finish row 1 together. So chain 1, single crochet, skip 1 and single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1 again, and single crochet in the last chain of the row. And there we go. Row 1 is finished, and you should have something that looks like this. All right, so let's move on to row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So now we're going to be going from right to left, just like before. So we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the chain 1 space right next to it, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and then we're going to do that all the way till we get to the end. And I'll meet you up when we get to close to the end. Okay, so we're going to finish up row 2 and then move on to the next row. So you're going to chain 1 into the chain 1 space. You're going to single crochet, chain 1 again, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and then single crochet in the last stitch of the row, which is a single crochet. Maybe a little tricky to get your hook in there, but just give it a wiggle and it should get in. There we go. That's row 2. Now let's change over to our secondary color. And we're going to chain 1 with that color. And we're going to cut our old color just to get it out of the way. Now, turn our work, and we're going to single crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, and single crochet in the chain one space. Then chain one again, and single crochet in the chain one space. And we're going to do that all the way to the end, and I'll meet up with you at the end of this row. Okay, so we just finished row 3, so let's move on to row 4. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, and single crochet into the chain 1 space. And then we're going to do this all the way to the end, and I'll meet you up when we get there. Okay, so that's the end of row 4. So you're going to go ahead and repeat rows 2 and 3 until your square reaches about 8 inches or so, which equals out to about 26 rows, give or take, depending on the hook you use. So I'll meet you when we get to the 26th row. Okay, so this is sort of what your square should look like at this point forward. I'm almost at the 8 inches, so we can do the last few rows together. So I'm just going to change back to my first color. Okay, I'm going to chain 1 with it, turn my work. Okay, so we're going to single crochet in that first single crochet. Then we're going to put a single crochet in that chain 1 space, chain 1, and then single crochet across, chain 1, single crochet, and do this all the way across. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we get to the end of this row. Okay, let's finish this row together and then we'll check our measurements to see how close we are. So with chain 1, single crochet in that chain 1 space, chain 1 again, and single crochet in that last stitch of the previous row. Now let's pull up on our loop and let's check our measurements to see how close we are. Looks like I'm about 7 inches. So you know what? We can do 2 more rows just to finish off our square. Now if you're close to 8 inches, you don't have to do 2 more rows. You can if you want to. It's totally up to you. So let's do 2 more rows and then we'll fasten off and weave in our single crochet in that first stitch. Then let's single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, and single crochet in each chain 1 space like the previous rows, and I'll meet you when we get to the end. Okay, so let's finish up the second last row and then move on to the very last row of our square. So we chained 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1 again, put a single crochet in that last chain 1 space, and then instead of chaining 1, you're going to single crochet in that last stitch, then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to single crochet in that first stitch, then you're going to chain 1 and put a single crochet in that chain 1 space, and you're going to chain 1 and single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and you're going to do that all the way to the end, and I'll show you how to fasten off your work. And there we have it. We've finished our work, and when you fasten off, you're just going to single crochet in the last stitch, then you're going to do a chain 1, and then just cut your yarn and pull your little tail through till you have something that looks like this. And then you'll weave in your end. Okay. So now we're going to weave in just these little loose tails that we have sticking out. As you can see, I've already done a few, but I'll do the rest of them with you guys. So flip my work over. I'm going to pick up a tail. I'm going to weave it in through the eye on my yarn needle. Whichever yarn needle you have is perfect. Whatever you're comfortable with working with is fine as well. And you're just going to weave your yarn tail through with the same color, and you're just going to weave it in through the stitches, just so it's hidden and you can't see it. Okay, and then you're just going to cut off the extra. Be careful not to cut your work. And then you're just going to do the same thing with all of the remaining tails. I'll do a few more with you, just so we can practice. Weave them in through your stitches, so they're nice and hidden. Plus, it'll make your work look nice and neat and square. Okay, and then you can cut the extra. Okay, and that's it. That's how you weave in your tails. So weave in the rest of your tails, and I'll catch up with you at the end. Okay, so our ends are all weaved in. This is what your project should look like at the completed end. And you can measure it if you wish, but it should be about 8 inches or 26 rows, give or take. And we're all done. And there we have it, everybody. We made a dishcloth. So like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next week for more content.